Hi, I'm Thembi.
And I'm Jonathan.
And today on How to Learn.
We're talking about high training managers.
Ooh.
Not a concept we've come up with.
Not at all.
This is based on a series of posts by Rafaela Sadun, and thank you very much for them, looking at a study which was into large firms in Latin America, car manufacturer, retailer, etc. And they discovered a real variation around who your manager was and how much you got trained. So they were looking at central training, and all the incentives were the same, the structure was the same, but participation varied a lot across teams. And when they looked into it, it was because there are some managers who are really people focused, they were proactive about the training, they cared about the development, and people in their teams were like 50%, 60% more likely to take up the training than people in other teams. I don't know what the opposite of a high training manager is. Call it a low training manager. They weren't being paid more. The managers weren't being paid more to do this, but they just, as Rafaela puts it, believed in their team's growth. So that's great. Just find yourself a high training manager and they'll encourage you to do lots of training. Simple, isn't it?
It is simple, but we've got the concept of leadership and managers. So are high training managers actually good leaders? Is this a manager that's displaying really good leadership skills? And I saw there was a post that Peter Drucker famously wrote, management is doing the things right, focus on implementation and efficiency, while leadership is doing the right thing. So were those high training managers doing the right thing, which effectively resulted in motivated team?
I guess yes, because developing people is the right thing, as long as it's focused on, in this case, productivity and performance and all the rest of it. And they must have got higher retention, morale, well-being, you'd hope. Or maybe all their people left because now they were more highly trained and could get higher wages elsewhere. We don't know that bit. But yeah, it's a core part of being a leader, isn't it? And a manager. What do you do if you haven't got a high training manager, though? Because I guess statistically, half of us won't at any given time.
Yeah, we won't, because...
So what do you do?
So I guess this is probably where you look at other resources to develop yourself, like outside of your immediate management train. Don't go do that, but just doing that.
Yeah. Colleagues,
doing the on-the-job learning yourself, putting yourself forward to doing some shadowing, mentoring,
mentors,
coaching. But then, is that fair on the individual who's being line managed by somebody that doesn't believe in development?
None of it's fair, is it? No, it feels horrible.
Yeah.
But it's happening to half of the time or something.
I think that's 70%, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Particularly on a Monday.
Literally.
So, yeah.
Deliver.
Right. But you've got all those other resources, and I think you just have to look around and go, and even if you've got a high training manager, okay, you can use all those other resources, but all is not lost. But yeah, it's a lovely world when you've got somebody there who's actually making it easier for you to develop yourself.
Oh yeah, it makes an absolutely big difference, to be quite honest, when you've got someone that's there motivating you and encouraging you to develop your skill set.
Yeah, brilliant. It's just nice to see a report with some actual data and that kind of depth of detail, even though we don't know if all the people then left and got higher wages in the company down the road. But you'd hope not, or at least not immediately.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know.
We just stick to that.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're actually, maybe they are leaders who are managers.
That is a brilliant point. There we go. Maybe it's the characteristic of your next generation of leaders.
Absolutely.
There we go. So everybody out there who's a manager, please be a high training manager. It doesn't have to be every day of the week, but get your people taking up all those opportunities and you'll be rewarded somewhere at some point.
We promise you.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.